Okay, so when you picture farming in South Africa, what comes to mind? Probably cattle, maybe some crops, right? But what if I told you there's a huge money-making venture that involves farming an animal that's literally been around since the time of the dinosaurs? Yeah, we're talking about crocodile farming. It's a wild business that's turning these ancient predators into a very modern and very surprising source of profit.
And let's get one thing straight right from the get-go. This is a whole different beast. It's a high-stakes world, a high-reward world, and it takes some serious guts and a massive respect for these incredible animals. So you can forget everything you think you know about traditional farming.
All right, so to help you get your head around this fascinating industry, we've broken it down into 5 key parts. We're going to start with the big opportunity, then walk through those all-important first steps, talk about building your croc fortress, then dive into the day-to-day care, and finally, look at how you actually reap those scaly rewards.
First up, why on earth would anyone even think about farming crocodiles? Well, believe it or not, beyond the thrill of it, there is some serious potential for profit. Let's dig into what makes this business such a potential gold mine.
This slide right here really says it all. With traditional farming, you're usually looking at lower risks, sure, but you're also dealing with commodity products and pretty slim profit margins. Crocodile farming, it just flips that whole script on its head. We're talking higher risk, absolutely, but the products are pure luxury, and the profit potential is just massive.
So where's all that money coming from? Well, it's mainly 2 areas. First, you've got the world of high fashion, where crocodile leather is the ultimate symbol of luxury and durability. Second, there's a growing niche market for croc meat in fancy gourmet restaurants. And get this, here's the surprising part. When farms are managed well, they actually help with conservation by taking the pressure off wild crocodile populations. Pretty cool, right?
Okay, so your interest is piqued. I get it. But hold on. Before you even think about buying your first crocodile, there's some serious homework to do. This is the part that makes sure your business is legal, ethical, and actually set up for success. The whole process really boils down to 3 steps you absolutely cannot skip. 1, you have to become an expert in all the laws, both local and international. 2, you've got to get all the right permits. And 3, and this one is so important, you need to find yourself an experienced mentor to show you the ropes.
Now, one of the most critical permits you'll need is from CITES. That's an international agreement that controls the trade of endangered species. Without this piece of paper, you can't legally breed, sell, or ship your croc products across borders. Basically, your CITES permit is your passport to the global luxury market. It's a non-negotiable.
And this is exactly why you can't learn this business from a book. This isn't something you can just Google. Experience is everything. You have to be willing to spend real time on established farms, learning firsthand how to actually care for these animals, from breeding and feeding to, of course, handling them safely.
Okay, once the legal stuff is sorted, it's time to build. And a well-designed croc farm is way more than just a few ponds. You're basically engineering an entire ecosystem that's built for the health, safety, and ultimately, the productivity of your animals. Choosing the right location is absolutely paramount. You've got to find a spot that feels like home for them. So think warm, humid, with tons of water. You also need enough space to have separate enclosures for different age groups, which helps keep them from fighting. And you have to be eco-conscious with great waste management systems to protect the area around you. Now, the first piece of essential infrastructure is your incubation facility. And this is not just some warm closet. We're talking a high-tech haven where you have precise control over the temperature and humidity. Your hatching success and the start of your whole business depends on getting this part perfect. After they hatch, the little crocs move into what are called grow-out facilities. These are big, spacious enclosures designed to feel like their natural habitat, with plenty of areas for them to bask in the sun and clean water to swim in. And, of course, the fencing has to be 100% secure. Because, let's be honest, nobody wants a croc on the loose. So, you've built your fortress, now for the daily grind. This is the art and science of actually raising the crocodiles. This is where your commitment to doing things the right way directly translates into the quality of your product and the health of your bank account. Look, it really boils down to 3 simple things. First, you need a calm, stress-free environment. Why? Because stress can literally damage their skin quality. Second, a balanced, nutritious diet for healthy growth. And third, constant health monitoring. We're talking regular vet checkups to catch any problems before they can spread. And let's be crystal clear about why this is so important. Just remember this mantra: a healthy croc is a wealthy croc.
Taking meticulous care of your animals isn't just about being ethical. It's the absolute foundation of your business. The health of that crocodile directly impacts the quality of its skin and meat, and that, my friends, directly impacts your bottom line. All right, after years of patience and hard work, we finally get to the payoff. This is the final stage, turning all that investment and dedication into actual revenue. This is where you go from farm to high fashion and fine dining.
But, and this is a big but, let's manage expectations here. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, not even close. On average, you're looking at about 3 to 4 years for a crocodile to grow big enough to be harvested. It's a long game, and it requires a ton of patience and a lot of upfront cash.
So after all that time, what are your income sources? Well, as this chart makes pretty clear, luxury leather is the big prize. That's where the vast majority of your income is going to come from. But that niche meat market is a fantastic and growing secondary source of revenue, especially as more gourmet chefs get interested.
So how do you tap into those high-end markets? You need a really smart, targeted strategy. That means building a killer online presence, creating direct partnerships with luxury fashion houses and top-tier restaurants, and, this is huge, being totally transparent about your ethical farming practices. Trust me, today's luxury buyer really cares about that stuff.
Which brings us to the million-dollar question. After hearing all this, after seeing the risks and the long timeline, is getting into crocodile farming actually worth it?
Let's just break it down, side by side. On the one hand, you've got some massive risks, a huge upfront investment, the very real physical danger of working with these powerful animals, and a luxury market that can go up and down. But on the other hand, the rewards are just as big. Ridiculously high profit potential, a real chance to contribute to conservation, and you get to operate in a unique market with very little competition.
So what's the final word? Could this be your ticket to success? Look, it's definitely not for everybody. But for the right kind of person, someone with a ton of passion, endless persistence, and yeah, a bit of a thrill-seeking spirit, it offers an incredible chance to build a truly unique and profitable business. It really is the wild side of farming.